Welcome to the Seahawks Forever podcast. In-depth analysis on everything Seahawks. And now, here's your host, Dan Viens.
So, guys, we're getting into some dicey territory here. And you know why?
I need my hard hat.
Because we're sitting here at 18. And Grey Zabel is on the board. So everyone I would say 80% of the Seahawks fan base right now is thinking, this is it. Matt Miller said that it was MacMillan or Zabel. Zabel's sitting there. But here's Rappaport saying they want to move down. Is that because they think they can get Zabel a little bit later? Or is it because they just don't really like the value at 18 and they just want to pick up extra assets?
I don't think anyone has a clue.
Let's talk about this, okay? In advance of the pick, if it's not Grey Zabel, I'm looking at you, Seahawk fans. It's okay. There are other guards that can start as rookies and elevate the play of this line that you can get a little bit later, either by moving back or even in the second round. You can get Donovan Jackson. You can get Tate Ratledge, like all the usual suspects. We've talked about a ton of these guys, right? It's not Grey Zabel bust. Grey Zabel is not the only ingredient missing in a good offensive line.
This is going to get interesting.
But if it is Zabel, I've got some video and a graphic put together, so that would actually be pretty cool.
I'm watching Brady Henderson on social media, and there's nothing yet.
Nothing.
I think.
Who do you guys want? Who do you guys want if they stay? Who do you guys want right now?
My guy Grant's gone. Gonna put me on the spot. Honestly, if they're stuck at 18 right here, I'll give you three names: Grey Zabel, Donovan Ezeraku, Emeka Egbuka. Those are my three.
Okay.
Oh, Malachi Starks. Sorry, four.
Malachi,
I think Starks could really, really, really be in play here.
Yeah. I'd say Malachi and Zabel for me.
I've got four. So I've got Zabel. Zabel's one. Starks is two. Barron's three.
Okay.
Ezeraku is four.
The Seahawks are open to moving back. So are the Buccaneers. Could someone come up for a quarterback? So maybe you do that Pittsburgh move. I think on the trade chart, if Pittsburgh just wants to make sure it's a fourth round.
Pick is in, guys. The pick is in.
Okay.
So no trade.
Give me Barron, Zabel, Golden.
Yeah.
Starks. Barron, Zabel, Golden, Starks. That would be my four. I'm sorry. Will Howard, actually.
Wow.
All right.
Okay, I cannot look at Twitter. I do not want to have this. I don't want to know this tip ahead of time.
I'm looking at my big board here going just frick.
Best available right now on NFL.com, Will Johnson, Mike Green, Luther Burden. I don't think Burden's a personality match for the Seahawks. Jahdae Barron, Matthew Golden, Nick Emenwari, Donovan Ezeraku, James Pierce, also not a match. Nick Scorton, Mason Taylor. If you want a curveball, Seahawks are said to love him. Had him in for a 30 visit. Donovan Jackson. And they don't even have Zabel on their next available. You have to go all the way down to the next. You have to flip over to the next page for NFL.com to get to Zabel.
Does anyone else feel like this crazy urge that you wish we would trade back right now?
Yeah, but if
I kind of feel it now that I see that the pick is in. I'm kind of like, ugh.
If no one's offering you value,
I know what our pick is.
Now they're showing the war room right now.
Mike looks odd in that.
They're not celebrating. You see that? They're usually, don't
forget, it could be a different feed of the war room. It could be delayed before they've even made that pick.
Yeah, it could be.
That's true.
If you don't look, but Brady just kind of hinted at it. Unless he's playing. Nope, he did not hint at it. It was a full hint.
I'm not going to look at the comments. Here comes Roger Goodell. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get. Welcome to Seahawks, Gray.
I think it's great that they went out in the first round and finally took a guard.
So does that shut up everybody in Seahawk Nation now that we never addressed the need in the beginning of the draft?
Well, I think you have to, because you didn't do it in free agency. You haven't done it for years on end, and it was the guy's sitting there.
He really, in so many ways, was a perfect match for what they need. Like he blew all teams away in the interview process. He's 100% about football. He turned down big NIL money to go elsewhere and stay home. He wanted to play with his little brother. He took their NIL money. He bought farmland, right? He's just everything that you want
he's a national champion,
and he's got some nastiness to him. Yeah, he's got that positional versatility. I think he's your starter at left guard from day one, but maybe long-term in the big picture, he could end up playing center.
Yeah, I think he's going to start at guard. I wish he'd play center, but I'm cool with either. I think you kind of nailed it. The biggest thing, and Dan, you and I have talked about this since we started talking, the Seahawks need more ass kickers. And I think that's like the best way to describe him. He's an absolute ass kicker.
All right, so here's so they did do me a favor. Grey Zabel, 6'6", 305 pounds, 4 sacks allowed in his entire career. He played some at all 5 spots. And I got to see him up close and personal at the Senior Bowl. And, y'all have heard how impressive he was down there. I echo that. Like, the guy is stout in pass protection. He can handle power. He's a good enough athlete. You saw it at the combine. He can handle speed. He's got great handwork. When he gets his arms extended, you'll see him, I think, on this next rep against Wyatt Black, who's one of the biggest, strongest dudes at nose tackle in this draft. Watch him get his arms extended. It's over. Like, the rep is over. He wins the rep, but he can get out and move. He's a perfect fit in the wide zone scheme. And we're going to bring in another special guest now. Let me catch up on some of the tech stuff here. Mookie Alexander from Field Goals. Oh, Mookie, how much goodwill was just established in the city of Seattle? How much did the city just exhale, and how much can John Schneider now feel comfortable going out in public tonight?
Well, first step is Zabel's got to be an actual good player in the NFL, so that part remains to be seen. But the process of actually taking a guard, I mean, I wrote it last night and then scheduled it this morning. This is kind of an unprecedented thing for John on a couple of fronts. One, taking a guard this high. I mean, Carpenter and Ifedi were tackles in college and then became guards. And then in Carpenter's case, he stayed at guard, and then Ifedi went back to tackle. But they don't take FCS players very often. No. Not under John Schneider. It hasn't been his thing. He's taken 4 prior to tonight. He's taken 4 FCS players since he became GM in 2010. All of them were no earlier than the 5th round, and pretty much none of them stuck. Like, it was like Ty Smith, Jared Smith, Mark Legree, and I forgot the 4th one because I'm trying to think off the top of my head without looking, but still.
Michael Jarrell?
Yeah, Jarrell was a Division II player. They have taken more D2 players than FCS players.
That's right.
And that's kind of a crazy thing. But
yeah,
to take one in the 1st round, I mean, it's not best player available for sure, but probably the best offensive lineman available, given everybody else who went preceding Zabel. But I'm pleased with the pick. I didn't actually think that they would do it. Or if they were to pick Zabel, I would have thought they would have tried to trade down and still get him in the 20s or something. But the fact that Booker went at 12, maybe there was a little concern that, okay, maybe these linemen are going to go earlier off the board than expected. But, Matt Miller of ESPN, he's 3 for 3 now on these intel posts.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, it was Devin Witherspoon, and he said it without saying it overtly, that, Witherspoon could be somebody the Seahawks like. And then last year was Byron Murphy could be a sensible fit for Seattle.
And he called the Michael Penix pick to Atlanta last year too.
Yes. And then this year you end up with him saying it's either MacMillan or Zabel. Well, yep. MacMillan went way earlier than I thought, but he essentially went to, Carolina. He went to Seahawks light because of all the front office people in Carolina and a lot of ex-Seahawks on the Panthers roster. But still, so far so good. They got Zabel. I think that takes him out of the Donovan Jackson running. I was pretty high on taking Donovan Jackson, but I think this was always an either or. Like, if they didn't get Zabel,
I wouldn't have batted an eye if Jackson had been the pick here instead of Zabel at 18.
Yeah, I would have preferred if they'd taken Jackson to trade down and get it in the late 1st, but still, that's a good start. Unfortunately, one of my draft crushes, Emeka Ibuka, is about to go to Tampa Bay, but still, there's time for them to get a receiver in round 2 and 3. But yeah, it's a big deal. They're investing in the offensive line. almost feels like it was a mandate of sorts. Like, all right, you want to talk about the offensive line and fixing it? You didn't do a whole lot in free agency. The least you could do is address it early in the draft.